What's up, guys? We're here with the second half of the video. As you can see, I'm a little sweaty from the training, the back and shoulders. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Natural Freak shirt, you know how we do it. And I'm here, the man to my right, your left, is the man I like to call rabbi or teacher and guru to the stars, whatever you want to call him, Mr. William Ingram, who is a WNBF Pro bodybuilder. And just want to kind of get some information from him because he is so knowledgeable concerning several things that you guys want to know about. So this is your first appearance, Will, on Determined to Obey vlog. Really the only person other than me. Just kind of tell everybody a little bit about like when you started training and when you got into bodybuilding, some of the accolades that you have.
Okay, like you said, my name is William Ingram, and I got into bodybuilding at age 15. That's when I bought my first set of weights. And actually now I've been training over 30 years. I'm 50 years old. Matter of fact, just had a 50th birthday a couple weeks ago. Trains 100% natural. Actually, I'm a WNBF Pro. I've won Mr. North Carolina in 1991 and 92. I've went and won Mr. Piedmont, Mr. Christopher Cole's several bodybuilding accolades, and I'm a personal trainer, own my own gym, which is Fitness by William, and that's how I met Carl years ago when he was 15, and he's kind of like a protege to me, and I've known him before he really known himself real good and stuff, and I've seen his progress and stuff over the years.
All right, so obviously, like you said, you've been in this for a long time, and I just turned 30. And like you said, I met him when I was 15. So what are some of your philosophies? Obviously, you have a lot of accolades. We see the trophies and being a pro bodybuilder. First thing first, what are your philosophies and kind of thoughts on nutrition as far as eating good and bad? If I was going to come to you like I have and ask you about eating, how would you steer me in a better path into getting in better shape?
Well, the first thing when it comes down to eating, I always say that 80% of what you look like is nutrition, and I would just say basically, low fat. You want things like chicken, fish, turkey, tuna, lean red meat. You want to stay away from a lot of starchy carbs. Good with your brown rices, leafy greens. And make sure that you get a good multiple vitamin and good quality supplements like you have right here. And that's a good way to start for a good nutrition program.
All right, and the big debate always seems to be, people say no cardio if you're weight training like you should, and we'll get into that in a second, and you're eating like you should. You're basically have good quality food coming in, nutrition, carbs, low fat protein, which there's debate about that as well. What are your thoughts on cardio? Do you think it should be steady state cardio? Do you think it should be high intensity interval training cardio, HIIT cardio? Do you think it should be for an hour? Do you think it should be less? What are your thoughts on as far as cardio?
Well, when it comes down to cardio, of course, it's going to vary because everybody's body is different. Me, for instance, I've got a slower metabolism, so I do cardio 4 or 5 times a week. But even in the midst of that, I think it should be like more of a low impact cardio. As long as you get a good training program, this high intensity, I think you can get away with a low impact in cardio. And of course, like I said, nutrition is going to be the biggest factor anyhow. And
so a lot of people you hear a lot of people gauge, have a certain heartbeat per minute or don't or whatever. How would you gauge that? Because obviously not everybody can go out and buy a $200 heart rate system to wrap around their waist and their arm and things of that nature. How would you gauge when you're doing too much or when you're not doing enough as far as cardio is concerned?
Well, over the years through the clinics that I've been to, I tell people, I said, the heart rate monitors and things like that, they're okay, but your best indicator is listening to your body. If you can do cardio and you can carry a normal conversation, not be real winded, then that lets you know your heart rate is where it should be. But if you're so winded that you're out of breath and you can't carry that conversation, then that means you need to slow it down. So that's the way I judge mine. I don't go with monitors and all that stuff, but I just kind of listen to my body.
So you think at least a minimum of 20 minutes cardio, or do you believe in, like, you see here people saying, well, I'm gonna burn a lot of body fat, so I'm gonna do cardio for an hour and a half at one time. Do you think that's really good to do that, or is that detrimental to your body?
I think it's detrimental because studies show, and it's been proven that if you go over 30 minutes of cardio, then what happens, it manipulates your body and it stops burning fat and it starts using muscle. So I would say 20 to 30 minutes is good. Now if you wanted to split it up, maybe do an AM and PM, that's good, but I wouldn't sit there and do hour of cardio in the same session.
Right, okay. Well, what in regards to training, obviously you've been training a long time, and I'm sure you tried everything under the sun. What are your philosophies as far as training? Do you prefer a certain type of training over, like some people have high volume, at least 20 or more sets per workout, and then you have some people kind of like Dorian Yates, who's on the other side of things where, basically one set to failure. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there again, like I alluded to earlier, everybody's body is a little bit different, so it kind of varies, and there again, you have to learn your body chemistry and you have to learn what works for you. I think you should add variety when it comes down to training, though. I think you should go some high volume, then I think you should do things like supersetting, circuit training, and then just maybe go with some low reps and higher weight, because the key to developing good muscle is manipulating the body, recruiting muscle fiber. You're making sure that the fast twitch muscle fibers kick in, and you do that by adding variety so the muscle doesn't get complacent.
So a lot of people that have asked me on the blog, and I basically come from your point of view on this, and I just want them to get it from someone who's a pro, is when trying to get lean like I'm doing now, and should I bump all my reps up to 15 to 20 reps, really do everything fast and do lightweight, or should I really try to, since I am calorie deficient, should I try to stick more to the heavier weight to make the muscle stay down? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, that's been a big debate for a long time, high reps, cutting up. But the thing is to increase lean muscle mass and to burn body fat, basically, is to shoot oxygen and blood flow to the muscle. And that's how you do that. So with your body type, I would go with both programs. That way it confuses the muscle and it switches it up like that.
Okay, so maybe 1 week go a little bit heavier, the next week go lighter, or
yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. As far as how many times in a week you train a body part, do you train everything one time a week or more, or is it beneficial, or what do you think?
Well, during my off-season period, and when I say off-season, that's when I'm not competing or getting ready for competition, I go with one exercise one exercise for each body part per week. Now, when I'm getting ready for the competition, then I like to train each body part twice a week.
All right, so with that being said, you kind of prompted me on this last question. You just turned 50. So what is next for Mr. William Ingram, the trainer of champions?
Well, I've actually been in retirement since 2000. That's when I last stepped on a bodybuilding stage. And so my goal is, when I turn 50, is to come out of retirement and do a Masters 50 division. So that's what I'm in training for now. That'll be November the 5th in Greensboro, North Carolina, and that'll be the Elite Muscle Classic.
Very nice. And what are you weighing now? What are you thinking of probably being able to compete at? Because you used to compete at a bantamweight.
I used to compete at 143 1/4 as a bantamweight. And after that, my last competition, I got up to 175. And actually, when I started preparing for this show in January, I was weighing 175. And my goal is to maybe go in and compete at 150. And right now, I'm about 158. So we're looking at about 8 pounds out from my competition weight now.
All right, very nice. Well, one last question, and we're going to wrap this up. I want to know, because we've talked about cardio, we've talked about training, we've talked about nutrition, what you're doing next. Here's, as quick as you can, what is the importance? So many people, they're on a journey, but there's so many, we can talk about the physical aspect all day long. Talk just a little bit about the spiritual aspect, because that is something that people really, when they're trying to make a change, they need to make a change as far as a whole person, not just an outside appearance. So talk just a little bit about that.
Well, the spiritual aspect is number one in my book, because you know, you have to first believe God and believe in His Word, and if you believe in God, you can accomplish anything. You know, in His Word, there's a passage of scripture that Philippians 4:13 that says, "I can do all things through Christ which strengthen me." And obviously, I hadn't got this for by myself, so I give all the credit to God, because it has to be Him number one in your life.
Right. Well, nothing else I can add after that. I don't want to add anything else. Thank you guys for tuning in for the training with the back and shoulders, and then also here with the interview. I want to thank my personal rabbi or teacher, Mr. William Ingram WNBF, professional bodybuilder. This is the video that you guys have been waiting on. So once again, thank you for that. And coming shortly, we'll be doing some more. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. Take care, guys. God bless you.